Students, good morning. This is the last topic in Unit 1, Ambient Air Quality. Coming to ambient air quality, the most frequently occurring pollutants in an urban environment are particulate matters. It is of two types. One is suspended particulate matter, and the other one is respirable suspended particulate matter, RSPM, SPM, and RSPM. So the commonly occurred gases under ambient air quality conditions are such as carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, photochemical oxidants. So next, this is a device. Actually, it is an air quality monitoring device, which it is displays the air quality in terms of air quality index. The value of the air pollutants present in the atmosphere is measured by using a term which is called as air quality index. It changes from zero lowest value and highest value up to 5000 range. So its numerical values it is displayed in this device. So next, coming to monitoring of air pollutants, it is of two types. One is source and other one is ambient. A source type, it covers two types, different types such as point source and line source. Point source, under point source, the gases such as sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, and particulate matter. Under the line source, gases such as carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, hydrocarbons, respirate particulate matter. So ambient air qualities are as per WHO ambient monitoring protocol. It is of two types. One is essential, other one is additional. So essential gases such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. Additional gases such as suspended particulate matter, hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, and ozone gas. The primary pollutants are such as sulfur dioxide, nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. Most hydrocarbons and most suspended particles which acts as a primary sources. The gases emitted naturally which act that is um, from the volcanic eruptions, forest fire, and stationary source are the one which is created by the human beings, that is from the industries, and from the emission of the cooking stove from the home usage. Natural sources such as volcanic eruptions, forest fires, and mobile sources, that is the vehicle emissions. So all this emits the gases which all comes under primary pollutants. Secondary pollutions means the primary pollutants when it reacts with the water vapor results in acid. First one is nitric acid, sulfur dioxide, sulfuric acid, hydrogen peroxide, ozone gas. So these all comes under secondary pollutants. So the next one is source monitoring instrument. Actually, it is called as stack sampler. It displays the temperature, velocity, pollutants, pressure. So all the values are measured and it is displayed in the instrument which is called as stack sampler. The parameters to be monitored are pollutants, velocity, temperature, and pressure. This comes under source monitoring instrument. Next one is recommended criteria for siting the monitoring stations. So the site is actually it is depend upon the use and purpose of the results of the monitoring programs. The monitoring should be carried out with the purpose of the compliance of air quality standards. Monitoring must be able to evaluate impacts of new existing air pollution sources. Monitoring must be able to evaluate impacts of hazards due to accidental release of chemicals. Monitoring data may be used for research purpose. So this is the type of ambient monitoring stations. It is of six types: type A, type B, type C, type D, type E, and type F. Type A, it is called as downtown pedestrian exposure station. Type B, it is called as downtown neighborhood exposure station. Type C, it is called residential population exposure station. Type D, mesoscale stations. Type E, non-urban stations. And type F, specialized source survey stations. So the first type A, actually it covers the average traffic flow greater than 10,000 vehicles per day. So the location of a station in this picture you can represent that is from point 0.8 0.5 meter from the curb, and its height is about 2.5 to 3.5 from the ground. So type B means its average vehicles should be less than 500 vehicles per day. Typical locations are such as parks, malls, land scale areas, etc. The location of station is zero point 0.5 meter from the curb and its height is 2.5 to 3.5 meter from the ground. Type C means a residential populations exposure stations in the midst of the residential areas or suburban areas, but not in central business districts. The station should be more than 100 meter away from any street. So location of station is 0.5 meter from the curb and its height is 2.5 to 3.5 meter from the ground. So type D means mesoscale stations. Its appropriate height is to collect meteorological air quality data at upper elevation. The main purpose to collect the trend of data variations. It's not a human exposure. Its location is usually the rooftop of tall buildings or broadcasting towers. So type E means non-urban stations and remote non-urban areas. No traffic, no industrial activity. The main purpose is to monitor trend analysis. So location of station is 0.5 meter from the curb and its height is 2.5 to 3.5 meter from the ground. Next one is type F, that is specialized source survey station. It's to determine the impact on air quality, specialized location by an air pollution source under scrutiny. Location of station is 0.5 meter from the curb and height is 2.5 to 3.5 meter from the ground. So next one is frequency of data collection. So it is classified based upon the particulates. That is, one is particulates means it has to be monitored once in every 3 days, and gases pollutants means it's continuously monitored. So number of station, minimum number is 3. The location is depend upon the wind rose diagram that gives predominant wind directions and speed. One station must be at upstream of predominant wind directions and other two must at downstream predominant wind direction. More than 3 stations can also be established depending upon the area of coverage. So next one is component of ambient air sampling system. 4 main components are inlet manifold, air mover, collection medium, flow measurement device. Inlet manifold transports sampled pollutants from ambient air to collection medium or analytical device in an unaltered condition. The manifold should not be very long. Next point, air mover. Air mover provides force to create vacuum or low pressure at the end of sampling system. They are such as pumps. The collection mediums or liquid or solid absorbent or dissolving gases or filters or champion for air analysis. So example is automatic instruments. The flow device like rotameters measures the volume of air sampled. Next one is characteristics for ambient air sampling systems. There are 5 major characteristics of ambient air sampling systems, such as collection efficiency, sample stability, recovery, minimal interference, understanding the mechanisms of the collection. The first 3 must be 100% efficient. For example, for SO2, the solvent should be such that at ambient temperature, it may remove from the SO2 from the ambient atmosphere 100%. Sample must be stable during the time between sampling and analysis. So recovery, that is the analysis of particulate pollutant, must be 100% correct. So the next one is basic considerations for sampling. So sample must be representative in terms of time, location and condition to be studied. Sample must be large enough for accurate analysis. The sampling rate must be such as to provide maximum efficiency for the collection. Duration of sampling must accurately reflect the fluctuations in pollution levels. That is, whether 1 hour, 4 hours, 6 hour, 8 hour, 24 hours sampling. Continuous sampling is preferred. Pollutants must not be altered or modified during collection. The next one is ambient air quality standards and limits. So this tabular column represents Center Pollutions Control Board 2006. Actually, the first column represents a pollutant such as sulfur dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, suspended particulate matter, lead, carbon monoxide, and respirable particulate matter. Second column represents the average time. The annual average time is about 24 hours durations. Third column represents the concentration level of each pollutants. It is usually expressed with the unit microgram per meter cube. So limits are given. For sulfur dioxide, it's about 60 to 80. For oxides of nitrogen, it's about 60 to 80. For suspended particulate matter, it's about 140 to 200. For lead particle, it's about 0.75 to 1. Carbon monoxide, it's about 2 to 4. And respirable particulate matter, it's about 60 to 100. So next one is this tabular column represents NAAQs by US EPA.
EPA, we already know that, and US EPA 2006. Actually, it classifies the pollutants of two types: primary standard and secondary standard. So, primary standard pollutants: carbon monoxide, lead, nitrogen dioxide, particulate matter of two types: PM10 and PM2.5. Ozone, sulfur oxides, all are represented in terms of parts per million or microgram per meter cube or milligram per meter cube. So its average time is displayed with the terms of durations, terms of arithmetic mean. Okay. So next one is secondary standards. Sometimes it is same as primary standards for some gases, air pollutants such as carbon monoxide, lead, nitrogen dioxide, particulate matter 10, particulate matter 2.5, and ozone. Next, sulfur dioxide, its concentration level is 0.5 parts per million. So its range is usually expressed that is 1300 microgram per meter cube. So this is the sum of the points to be noted by US EPA 2006 standard, which is released by National Air Quality Ambient System. This is about WHO, World Health Organization's air quality guidelines value. All these guidelines are help us to help the nation to control the air pollutions and also protect the people from the harmful effects of the air pollution. Thank you.